sure you want to post that? It's gonna be online forever.
Alrighty.
Right into it.
Today is today, and today we have
Hell of an intro.
right.
It's very Buddhist.
Yes.
I feel like I've heard Hollywood girls say that at every party I've been to at some point. No, today is today because yesterday was yesterday and tomorrow is tomorrow. And I'm like,
Live, laugh, love,
I'm
baby.
supposed to nod like that's deep, but let's go.
Let's talk about it. LA is fake deep.
No, we're keeping it shallow today. Brad's not going in the deep end because he would be
can't.
unsafe.
I'd not be good. I have a big head. I have a thick ass. I don't swim. The head sinks. The ass floats.
He's like, I'm like a bulldog.
Yeah.
So
I'm
you're paddling underwater and it's just cheeks out of the water?
Yeah, that's me. It's just a
My
floating
floaties.
ass, like those things that those guys are going through a midlife crisis. They buy like those little golf greens that they chip golf balls in like the middle of their pool. Yeah, that's my ass, just like
Wow.
just floating like a weird Jaws porn parody.
Wow.
So you want to be floating in the middle of a pool, suffocating while old men tee balls into your ass is what I'm
Well,
hearing.
T-balls from his ass, I
Yeah,
think.
all right, and that's what we're doing. We're inventing new Pornhub categories
This
today,
is great.
and that is the first one.
I'm picturing the T just snuggled right in between those hard
Those
cheeks.
giant ass cheeks that I possess.
Inventing new Pornhub categories is astrophysics, honestly.
At this point, 'cause doesn't
Yeah.
everything pretty much exist now?
So they say.
Just when you think like there's no way someone can jerk off to a woman smashing her face into a cream pie, and you're like, no, they do that. It's actually quite the thing. It's like
Are you
cake-
talking
Which
about
kind of
a
cream pie?
Literal pie?
No, the actual cream pies. Isn't there like a cake category where like women?
Oh yeah,
sit on
like
cakes?
cake
Pies.
sitting. Yeah, for sure.
You sit on a cake, and some guy watches that and goes, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah.
Finally,
You're
And-
not that guy? Because I am. that
Have
guy.
you never
You
sat
are?
on a cake?
I've sat on a cake and I like
Me too.
watching it. And I've had a cake fucked into me on accident, and that
Oh,
was
that's
a horrible
That's a
use.
sentence.
I've had a cake
And that's
fucked into
why,
me.
and that's why
by-
we're trying to cancel Betty Crocker today. Holy shit!
Coming for
Wait,
you.
you had a cake fucked into you?
For my birthday, turned my ass into a cake with icing and a candle in my butthole, and then got fucked and left the icing on, and it was like,
It all goes in. It all goes in eventually.
I'm sorry to laugh. Well, you gotta admit.
I'm sure
that's-
the pH has been set back to normal by now.
I hope so.
when you woke up, or even when you knew that you were going to be in the adult industry, I'm sure that's not something that you were like, well, I have to be like that's a different type of yeast infection. That is something altogether that you don't
Susie and I have
anticipate.
made multiple videos with lollipops involved, because obviously we're lollipop girls,
Sure.
and just
Yeah.
like red dye number 40, like
Well, it's
pussy.
like
energy.
it'll be like before the shoot, and we're like using the lollipop in the photo shoot, and
Yeah.
both of our tongues are like Kool-Aid Man red, and then
Oh, yeah.
and then we're diving into each other, and then all of a sudden
Sure.
all the spit, all the
go
spit, all the
Slower,
Hold
slower.
on, slower. Zip.
the spit just looks radioactive, and then it's like, oh fuck, and then we're trying to like maneuver it around. It's
Yeah.
happened many times where we're like lollipops after,
Wow.
It-
See, it's all of this talk where I just think to myself, thank God, like missionary with eye contact, and I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy as hell, because I don't want to shame someone if their thing is their thing and it doesn't hurt anybody. Then all right, then I have no right to tell you what you're into and what you shouldn't enjoy. As long as everyone's safe, everyone's getting paid, everyone's consenting. Hell yeah. But like, I'm just really glad that I don't have to like look at my wife and be like, okay, here's the cake. Now put on this George Bush mask.
This is the only thing I have.
Now talk like Helen Keller. Okay. And we're off.
And
I'm
Boppy's hard. Let's
Now let's go.
I'm finally hard.
Yeah, and my question about these kind of fetishes is always the same, where it's like, how do you discover that you're into that? Because you don't just go on whatever porn site and type. You don't start with women and cakes.
No, I think it trickles in over time, and then it's kind of a hindsight thing. Once you
Okay.
realize that you're into something, you're like, oh, I've always been into
Yeah.
this. Like with me with feet, I realized like
Mm-hmm.
every partner that I've had, I've been sniffing those socks.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
that wasn't a trigger for you to know that, like, oh wait, I'm into feet. Like it took you a while.
Yeah, I thought it was just like me being really into the partner and just like
Uh-huh.
liking all the everything, and then after a decade or so of sniffing those toes, it's like this is just me.
It's interesting. I don't hear about too many women that have foot fetishes.
Yeah, I think
It's
I
mostly
mean
dudes.
it's not like every guy I'm gonna be into their feet, but for
Yeah.
sure, like most videos I make with women, especially when I'm like in the topping scissoring position and the leg is just right there.
Yeah.
It's like it's just perfect.
What if
Yeah, and some girls have really small feet. I'm like, I need to deep throat this foot.
Wait, we were at
Wait, maybe I should deep throat your foot.
I have an ugly foot.
Do
It is
you?
horrible.
Let's see it.
I've got. All right, this is.
Yes!
We're gonna go to Celebrity Wiki Feet, and this is gonna be on there.
Hold on, I'm just
They're
gonna get
like,
a little
put
video of
camera.
this.
Yeah, here we go. Get it over the heel, baby. Yeah, it's got hair. I got hair on the toes. I got hair on top of the foot.
Bro, you got nice little shrimpies.
Nice little shrimpies.
They are little hobbit feet.
I love
are.
them.
They are hobbit feet.
I like
They're
them.
not
I like
cute.
them a lot. Yeah.
You like them a lot?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Can I lick one?
I'm gonna say no because it's called
Boo.
Online Forever. But at the same, but I'm tempted and I'm honored.
Yeah.
I'm honored.
Yeah.
Because normally, I get a couple of compliments on certain parts of my body. The foot is never one of them.
Is it mainly your ass?
Mainly the ass.
Yeah.
It's a,
Yeah.
it's a big
Yeah.
dwarf dumper. It is just. It is fantastic.
I think the first time we saw you on
Yeah.
stage, we were like sitting. Here, allow me.
Yeah. Oh well, now she's putting back on my sock. This is so.
Slower.
Some guy is watching, just like lower the camera, lower. I gotta see this shit. I've never realized that blondes putting socks onto dwarfs' feet was my thing, but now it's my thing. Amazing.
Everyone's learning.
Yep. Mostly it's my ass. That's what I get a lot of compliments on.
Mm-hmm.
And dwarves in general, we've got good butts, and people ask me why, and they're like, "Why do dwarves have great asses?" And I go, "Well, it's a crooked spine." So if you want, if you want to have that crooked spine, that is the secret to a great ass. You hear all those women trying to get into the industry? Yeah, scoliosis.
Scolioli,
Do
roly
it.
poly. Do it. Y'all ever heard about scoliosis?
Oh man, it can get you a big butt, man, and it's helped. That's the main thing. People, but never feet. So I'm feeling very good today. You have improved.
Good.
You have improved my self-esteem. I feel
Fuck
good
yeah.
about myself.
Good.
I didn't think that coming to a podcast with two very attractive adult actors would make me feel better about myself, because I would just be so insecure with you with you
No.
guys
I just
being
am
next
not
to
buying
me.
this because
I'm
I
not
think
buying it.
I think that so many people want to bone
Yeah.
Brad Williams.
Yeah.
Whose name
Wow.
I think so too. I hear the whispering when you're on stage. People are like,
That's
do I need to fuck this guy?
literally yelling.
Do I need to fuck this guy? Oh, that's awesome. That makes me feel good.
Hell
Does it?
yeah.
It makes me feel desired.
Well, it's
Yeah.
good that you said his name because we actually
We
have
haven't.
Brad.
I've been waiting.
We have Brad Williams on the pod.
Yay.
Not the first non-porn person, but the first non-porn man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had Steph Tolev on here.
Oh, Steph is amazing.
Is the best.
I love.
Yeah.
I want you two to date.
I want to.
I want you three to date.
Oh my
I want
God.
you in a throuple, or
I would love
or-
that.
They look like
or a
related.
quadruple,
Yeah.
because I think she has a boyfriend. But,
Yeah.
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 Just
No,
all-
I'm so
all
attracted to her.
Yeah, me
She's
too.
So attracted to her.
I'm attracted
Yeah.
to her honesty. She's so funny.
Fuck yeah.
So she doesn't hold anything in. You never don't know where you stand. If she has a feeling, a thought, a desire, just whatever, she goes for it. But I am honored to be the first non-porn male
Fuck yeah.
on the podcast, because I run into you guys several times at the Comedy Store,
Mm-hmm.
and you guys are fun. You guys are like, I like hanging with you. I like talking with you. There's a kindred spirit between adult performers and comedians.
Deep.
I think it's not just a physical attraction.
No, it's desperation for validation.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's standing there begging the world to accept you.
Yes. And it's saying I am in need of love. I am in need of validation from strangers. You have it from your family, but not that guy over there from Kansas. I need his validation. Yes,
they are from Kansas or Ohio a lot of the time.
Hell yeah, I'm fine with that. I'll be in Columbus next weekend. I don't know when this comes out, but I'm going to Ohio. I'm going to all these places, and then I like it. So yes, so there's always like the kindred spirits between adult performers and stand up. It's also, as much as stand up is accepted, I still feel like it's this seedy underbelly of entertainment. Like, ooh, it's the comedy club. It's the comedian that says the things that you're not supposed to say.
Right.
That is down in the basement room, the dimly lit room. Ooh, we're hearing words. We're hearing thoughts that, these are controversial. And it's kind of like porn in that way, where you're like, I'm watching this thing I shouldn't be watching. We're all watching it. No, but I'm watching the thing we shouldn't be watching. Like,
right.
And we're in those industries.
And
it's
pushing the spaces to be larger.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Us, I think pro wrestlers and rock stars are in this category as well.
Well, it's like once you're seen or heard saying something, like you can't really go back to be like, I'm gonna go work at a bank, because people are like, you talked about your fat ass on stage, and now no one's gonna get a loan from you. You know, it's the same. It's the same situation.
I will say this. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I can say her name. My real estate agent for the house that I'm currently living in is former adult star Evangelina.
Fuck yeah!
No way.
Sold me my house.
Yes.
She was my real estate agent because we're friends. We're still friends. She was at my wedding.
Wow.
So yeah, she was a guest at my wedding. So and then
the sex work to real estate pipeline is real.
She told me about that.
Yeah.
She told me about that. She's like, yeah, a lot of adult actresses, if they're getting out, they go into real estate. And she said the reason is that a lot of the men that are buying the houses recognize them, even if they don't say that they recognize them. They recognize them, and then it's like they're gonna buy the house, not because they want the house,
for the meme.
Yeah, they want to say I bought from this, or they want to impress. They want
the
the
real estate agent.
Yeah, they want to impress her. So they're like, I'll buy the house. Sure. It's like when you walk out of the strip club going, I didn't want to buy that dance, but then she told me I should. And
but it's a whole house.
Yeah, now it's a whole house. Now I'm in a 30-year commitment because I wanted to impress this former adult actress. So yeah, it's a great job for adult actors to get to. She no longer does that as work, so that's why I felt like I was safe. So don't, if you're on computers, don't be like, I want to buy a house from her. Like, she's no longer doing that. But,
or do.
Maybe she'll get back into it. I don't know.
She probably knows some hidden gems around Los Angeles. So
in more ways than one.
Yeah. I'm friends with quite a few former adult actresses. I'm friends with some current adult actresses, and it's just kindred spirits. And
degenerates.
Also, I never have to worry about if I'm hanging out with you guys at the Comedy Store. I never have to watch my mouth in terms of oh man, I'm gonna offend them. I'm gonna
so true.
I'm gonna make this anal joke, and they're just gonna look at me like, how dare you?
Why would you?
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. And because I'm not physically okay. So here's something. My wife and I don't have a safe word for sex.
Okay.
We have a safe word for when I'm going too far with a joke.
I love that.
So she says whenever she says it, I have to realize, calm down, be a normal human being.
What is the safe word?
Cephalopod.
Cephalopod.
Which she chose. She's into science and stuff like that, and she's like, and it's such a strange word that when I hear it, even me saying it right now, I'm just like, I need to stop.
Shut it down.
Yeah, I need to stop.
I love your wife, man, and I've never met her, but I feel like I have.
Right?
spiritually and sexually at times. So wait, I love
we
the
can all
story about
dream.
how you guys met, and you never
Yeah.
actually told me this, but I heard it on when you were on Steph Tolov's podcast.
Yes.
You were on at the time Thrinder, now it's
Yes.
called Field,
Yes.
and you matched with two women
Yes.
to go and have a threesome. So
Yes.
everyone like matched with each other, and you
Yes.
all go and meet up for the threesome.
Yes.
But the other woman didn't show up,
Correct.
and the woman that did show up is now your wife of like 10 years. 8, 7, 5.
5 together for 7.
Okay.
Our kid is 3. Made life with the woman that I met on an alternative lifestyle dating app.
Fuck yeah.
Do
yeah.
you guys have a lot of threesomes?
We used to, not so much anymore with the kid.
Right.
Not because we're against it, just time.
Time.
Just time management, and we don't want a lady that's going to be nice enough to do something like that. We don't want it to be in our house. We
Yeah.
want it to be outside of the house. We don't want to, I don't want my
Yeah.
daughter to be playing on the couch and be like, oh man, that's where some. That's where some stuff happened. I
Yeah,
don't
y'all
wanna do
are
that.
y'all are big boys and girls now. You have
Yeah.
your own life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kind of.
exactly. So we're not against it ever happening
Right.
again, but it right now with
You have a tiny
schedules,
child.
It would be
yeah.
more of a special occasion. It would be scheduled.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It would be scheduled. It would be like, all right, my birthday is in January. Let's make this happen.
You guys are in the tension building part of a threesome right now. You're gonna have one in
Yeah.
a couple of years. It's gonna explode your mind.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna be absolutely nuts. Be like, it'll be. Hopefully, it won't be like. This is what will probably happen. It will happen, like you say, a few years, and then I'll do the thing when you haven't seen that friend in like 4 years, and then you hang out. And then you look at them at the end of it, go, why don't we do this more often? That'll be me. I'll be like, this was fun.
Yeah.
We should do this more often. And my wife will probably be like, calm
Let's
down.
get lunch.
Yeah, and so yeah, that's why I'm also kind of very open to alternative lifestyles, all alternative love styles, alternative things that people are into, because I'm not exactly, Beaver Cleaver. I'm not that guy. So, but just because that's how you meet or that's what you're into doesn't mean you can't have a boring family style life at times, and other times you get a little weird and you get a little freaky. It's fun.
I love that term that you said, alternative love style.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good band name.
Right? I saw the Troubadour last week. Alternative love style? Oh,
Fuck
man.
yeah.
They were awesome. 3 people on stage. All at once. But so that's how we met. And the important thing is that, because I've been, and I have friends in the lifestyle, in the adult industry, and sometimes I feel like the relationships, the main connection is I get to fuck other people. And I don't think that's a good base
Right.
to start a relationship. Is like, oh, I want to be with you because I can fuck other people. Well, that's not a good sign.
Right.
My wife and I, we don't have to do the 3-way thing for me to be happy. It's a lovely bonus. It's an amazing bonus when it does happen. But it doesn't have to happen. I'm totally fine. Like I said, I'm missionary with eye contact. I'm good. I'm very happy. I'm satisfied. So I'm glad that we have that story. It'll be a fun day if my daughter ever discovers these types of podcasts where I've talked about it. It'll be like, okay, well, that's how mommy and daddy met, but we love each other and we love you, and then we support you, and if you're ever into that kind of thing, we won't judge.
Yeah.
And but it also gives me perspective in terms of what's out there, and it's not just we met and a friend introduced us, and the wife stays home and the dad goes to work and he comes home and he's got the slippers ready and the pipe. I don't know why I'm doing like a 1950s sitcom, but
We got the pipe ready.
you guys have the pipe for alternative substances, but yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I'm glad that I didn't, because yes, that's how we met, but it became very obvious very quickly after we met, like, oh no, this is someone I really enjoy. Like, while it may have been for an initial hookup thing, it became very very quickly we're like, oh, this is a connection. This is something.
Love is blooming.
Yeah, we weren't supposed. We were literally like, we were gonna meet at a coffee shop, be like, all right, you cool? Cool. Are you psycho? No. Cool. Let's go. That's what was gonna be, and then like hours later at the coffee shop, it was like, all right, we're still talking.
That's always how you know.
Yeah, and then it was yeah. And then as a guy, you're just like, I'm not ready. I was supposed to keep going and like being single and like, but now no, but that's okay.
When you find it, what are you supposed to do?
You're not. Yeah, I tried to break up with my wife at one point.
No.
When we were dating. That's literally what she said. She said no.
Yeah.
Literally.
Because
I love her.
She's
met
like,
her-
I see through your bullshit.
Yeah.
I met her in San Francisco while I was doing a radio show, and then I quit the radio show and I moved back to Los Angeles. And I had done long distance before, and I hate it.
Yeah.
It drives me insane.
Yeah.
So I told her, I was like, hey, this is a lot of fun, but it's long distance. And I don't like doing long distance, so I want to keep in touch with you, but the whole relationship part of us is going to end. And at first she said okay, and then 2 days later, I found out later she had a long conversation with a friend, but 2 days later she came to me and she's like, yeah, the whole breaking up, it's not happening. Like we're not breaking up.
She said, I thought about it and I decided no.
Yes.
I disagree.
And
Did you have a counter? Or
no, I just said, okay. And I was
Love that.
all right, we're not breaking up then. Okay. And we kept dating, and then now we're married with a kid and a house and a mortgage and a Keurig. That's not the order of things that I love. But yeah, and so yeah, just because even if you're not anticipating being into that kind of thing, you can be open to that kind of thing, and if something can happen, it's great.
Susie and I have crushes right now too.
On who?
On our drug dealers.
On your drug dealers. I think this is a movie or a Dateline NBC special.
I think like
Perhaps a Netflix doc.
I get really attracted to somebody when like
They have drugs?
when it no, when it could be a good story, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's like really what gets me going. Like when I, that's the whole reason why I fucked my chiropractor and like many other people is like because
you
it's
fucked your chiropractor. I have so many jokes I can make that have probably already been made. Like that was quite the adjustment that day,
it
come
was.
on. Did you do it on
the table, yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
go back?
No, I squirted on that table. I mean,
squirted on the table.
He works out of his house, so already it's
What a
like level
move.
5 horny, you know.
Good job, buddy. That and it's yeah. That and there is something whether male, female, whatever, that when you see somebody, they make you feel better. Like every time you go see them, you feel better.
Your chakras are surging.
So it's like,
Yeah.
and if they're mildly attractive, but
It's
even if they're
over.
not,
Yeah.
like they're mildly
Or
attractive.
on the other side of the
yeah.
spectrum, the ones who make you feel really bad, like tattoo artists.
No,
also.
I love. I've had
Dental
sexual.
assistants.
Ooh.
dental assistants.
I have dental trauma, so
I had
that's-
one.
Yeah, no, I can't fuck a dentist. Sounds.
Uber driver though, absolutely.
I have had some run-ins with Uber drivers, but the tattoo artists, like ever since I started getting tattooed, every
Yeah.
single one that has tattooed me, crazy sexual attention. I've hooked up with a couple of them. One of them had his dick tattooed. He had been tattooing me for like 4 years. He was married with children.
Wow.
And right before I moved to LA, he was tattooing me for the last time. And at the end of it, he's like, so we're going through a divorce. And I was like, oh, that's so
yay.
sad.
Hey, do you need some comfort between them titties?
But yeah, his dick was tattooed.
Wow.
Mhm.
See, like, I'd
Yeah.
be curious to even see something
I mean, I
like
didn't
that.
have sex with him because I don't know if you know this about me, Brad, but my whole motto is like, send him home with a hard dick. Like, I will let them do titty worship. They can go down on me. I'll like nudge against their dick with my thigh maybe once.
Wow.
And then it's like, and then you send them on their way, because sometimes having sex, it's like it takes away the excitement kind of.
So you want it to build.
I love the
and
build.
and then you want to see him again, and you
Maybe,
like the
maybe not.
tease, you
Yeah.
like the build up. Okay.
It's just like it's a better memory for everybody if you didn't actually get the cookie. It's like, oh, what would have been like, whatever. But yeah,
I like
dick
it.
tattoo.
Wow.
My question is, do you do it when it's flaccid or do it when it's hard? And the answer is like kind of half chub. And how are you supposed to keep your dick hard while it's getting tattooed? Like, because if it's flaccid, you have to be stretching out the skin.
Ah! Ow. That's
Yankety
not
dankety.
good.
No, it's not.
So like, what is he like watching porn while they're tattooing him? And,
I don't know. I forget the details.
No, the
honestly.
tattoo artist is stroking.
yeah. Do you have a fluffer in the tattoo? Are fluffers real? Is that a real
Our
thing?
fluffer's real. You are the fluffer.
Yeah, if you,
Okay.
it's your dick, it's your responsibility
yes.
to be hard for the scene. You
But
know?
usually the girl is just the fluffer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so the girl in the scene right before or in between takes or in between setups or whatever.
Yeah.
But it is.
They're doing that.
Sometimes fun, sometimes not.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah.
Like if there's chemistry, heck yeah. But if
Right.
there's not, then you're just like.
Then
ugh.
it just feels like why is this happening
Yeah.
and why is the video not on?
yeah, because like I'm working.
I'm working.
You're doing your job.
Right, and I'm
Yeah.
off the court for some reason, working.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, why am I dribbling in the hallway? Like, what's going on? I need to be
Where's
out
my
there
vibrator?
shooting.
On that note.
Right. Yeah, like we can always just have sex and, you know, you don't have to be like naturally wet in order to do the scene. But if you
Right.
had to, like, there would be a lot less porn.
Yeah, yeah. I can imagine.
Mhm.
The first time I ever got the opportunity to go to a set, there was an adult male actor actually who saw me perform and was like, "Hey, we're doing do you want to come by?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course, I want to see that."
Fuck yeah.
Went and then I wouldn't say it ruined porn for me because I still watch porn.
No, that's fair.
But it definitely like literally the actress and the actor were like in a verbal fight, like before the scene, and like you went to the party and and like just yelling at each other, and then all right, action. Fucking just like nothing was happening, and it looks great, and the fucking and then everything, and then they're just like all right and cut, and what another thing, and they went right back to it while the guy's still hard. I mean, it kind of ruined the porn for me, but at the same time, I looked at the guy like still hard. I'm like, well, respect.
Oh, honey, it's
I don't
not
know how-
natural.
I don't know how you're doing that. Is that
Drugs.
Is that like the injection or the Viagra's or stuff like that?
They all-
There's a number of ways. Probably Viagra. That would be my guess.
I like how I put a plural on Viagra. I'm
Viagras.
so old. Is that the Viagras? Was he using the Viagras, the little blue pill? Honey, give me my Viagras. I'll be good.
I think it's better if they were like fighting before the scene rather than like them just being quiet and and like
there's something
silent
there, at
on
least.
separate couches.
It made me think like maybe the fighting actually helped the guy because it's like that. I hate you so much. I want to fuck. Like
Yeah.
you aggressively and
Yeah.
like just like
Yeah.
like maybe that helped. Maybe it helped the woman. I hope it did. But yeah, that was an interesting intro to the porn industry where I'm like, oh,
You're like, oh, so this is what set is like. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Is
yeah.
it? Where's Jerry Springer?
yeah. And then people like the makeup or the hair people just having a conversation
Oh yeah.
off to the side.
Yeah.
Like not into it, not supporting it, not like, or just being away from it. Like, okay, I'm gonna be in like 2 rooms over so I don't bother them. No.
Dude, that shit is hard for the male talent. Like almost every person I've done a scene with, like any kind of mainstream way or other people were there, they just totally get in their head. They're like, too many people are watching. It's really hard to
Yeah.
fuck you right now.
I can
And like the
imagine.
whole thing
Yeah.
is literally on their dick being hard. Like
Yeah.
a lot,
Yeah.
and then a lot of guys are like fucking beating it the whole time, just trying to keep it hard.
Oh, man.
There's a joke about like the male talent before the scene started going into the bathroom and just like punching it because your dick gets desensitized after a lot of fucking, and it takes more. It takes more and more for them to.
every time.
Wake up, you stupid
Yeah,
animal.
I've always wanted to know. Like, I wanted to talk to some of the male talent and be like, okay, your ideal situation, no cameras. Like, what does it take for you now? To, like, are you still just like you see a girl, you're like, hey, cool, and you want to do it normal, or do you have to have a certain? Do you have to have like grindcore metal playing and a strobe light going? Like,
Most
as
of
your
those
dick
guys,
they
going?
just want to.
fuck all the time.
Really?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
but then
they're
also
horny.
like they just want. A lot of them just want to be held. at this point, you know.
They either want to be
That's
held
so
or they
sweet
want
and
their
sad.
dick like gnawed off.
Yeah.
So like they want the extremes.
Right.
Like
yeah,
they
yeah,
want,
yeah.
like just punish me, give it a Macho Man elbow drop, like
Yeah.
like do something like that.
Like what you said,
Almost
like
made you spit, but you're a professional. I was literally trying to hit the punchline while you had it in your mouth. That was good. That was good. I wanted the viral spit take. Anyway, but
Of coffee.
yeah. So it's like either that or just like give me the love that I've never felt
like
before.
what you said, like eye contact missionary. That's like I think a big fantasy for a lot of people in porn.
That's a big fantasy
Interesting.
for me.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like lights off.
All
You don't
right.
have to worry about, because like in porn it's like a mixture of looks good and feel good if it's a good scene, and you want to kind of go back and forth so like the sex is real and everything feels good, so you're
Yeah.
focused on feeling good, but also you need to be thinking about where the camera is opening so you can see some insertion and make sure it
Sure.
looks good as well.
Yeah.
Because you could have great sex on camera and then look at it after and be like, are we even moving? What's happening?
Right. Yeah. No. Absolutely. Because if you don't get the angles,
Yeah.
then you can't see the great sex
Yeah.
that you just had.
Are
Now-
you a dick pic person, or like a?
No.
Have you ever made a video with your wife or anyone else? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've made a video. It's
You could sell that for so much money. That's the first thing my brain thought. But
trust me.
regardless,
It's like,
It's
you
in-
trust me,
It's on
Joshua.
a side. It's on a side hard drive, and a side hard drive located under an encrypted password. Like this is like.
Wow.
we're not getting
Wow.
panatomied.
It's away. But there is a thought whenever you see a video come out where I'm just like, man, I could do that, but then my mom's still alive, and I don't want that to be.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna have to wait for my parents to die to do
Yeah.
porn, and
Wow.
then COVID happened, and I was like, the apocalypse is the perfect opportunity.
Why not?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Right.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Now, I had a question for you guys, and that's so after a show, there's people that come up to me and like they try to make me laugh. They tell me a joke, and it's 0.1% is the people that come up to me like, hey Brad, I got a joke for you. You could use this, and then they tell something,
And you're like,
It's us.
yeah. So like when you are dating in civilian life, like like when the guy knows that the industry that you're in, like how much is your guard up? Because it's like, do they like me for what I do? Do they like me for me? And then do you find that guys are trying, like, they're trying so hard in bed with you because they're like, I gotta give them, like, they're used to having 12-inch dicks. I gotta fucking, I gotta go nuts for them. And you're like, dude, just be you. Like, does that happen a lot where guys are like trying, like overly trying because of your job?
I haven't had much experience with civilian men like since starting porn, honestly. I think that a lot of girls that do a lot of mainstream scenes and are getting those 12-inchers and then like men know them from mainstream scenes and they're like, fuck, like I need to hit that level. I've never really experienced that, and I don't really have, like, I send them home with their hard dick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they don't even get the chance. But
I'd be perusing the dating sites, and
Okay.
yeah, I would definitely say that they do that for sure.
They
because
try,
they're
like,
like,
yeah.
I get the feeling that you recognize that I fucked a lot of people, and then I know how to fuck good, which I do, and I love having sex. So they're like, usually,
Golf clap.
thank you. Usually I find the ones who are really horny and can fuck good too.
Okay.
But sometimes, like, I'm just like, the first guy that I went on a date with in LA, I was like, I think you just want to hit because you know I do porn, and yeah, he was just trying really hard, and he was super self-conscious about his dick because he was like, this is the first time I've ever met this man. He's just like, I know you've seen huge dicks and my dick is so small, and I'm like, you have a normal dick.
here's the
dude.
thing about men talking about their dicks. If any man says that they have a small dick, that thing is huge. And if any man says that they have a big dick, it's average or below. Like that is, put that on my grave. Because if someone's going to make a joke about having a small dick, like Bobby Lee, for example, I think he's probably schlonging.
I know, I want to see it so
Me
bad.
too. Like, if he talks about how small it is all the time, I'm like, that thing's
Let's
not
go.
small. Let's
Ask him.
see.
I don't know. He's a nice guy.
He'll talk about it. I guess like his thing when he first started was taking his dick out on stage, which you can't do that anymore. But
No, can't
have
do
you ever
that
flashed your ass on stage or anything?
Oh.
Give him just a quarter dump.
Yeah. I mooned somebody
Nice.
one time. It was a heckler. So
He
it
didn't
wasn't
deserve
even,
that.
Yeah, so it wasn't even like, hey, this is funny or this is fun.
No, it was like, look at the hair.
Yeah. How'd you know I had hair? You can tell.
I can tell.
It's the
have-
beard.
I have hair ass vibes. But yeah, it was definitely like a fuck you moon and not like a let's fuck you moon. Like it wasn't
Right.
funny. It wasn't cute. It was a go fuck yourself.
Did y'all
kinda
do a lot
shit.
of mooning as children?
I love mooning.
It's
See,
so
I would
funny.
try to do the fuck you
It's
moon,
always funny.
and then I learned that like if you give a good enough moon, you're giving the rest of it too. Like you're giving pussy from the back. I remember I mooned my friend in like elementary school as like a way to be like, "Meh," and she was like, I just saw everything, and like scarred her. So I was like,
Oh man.
fuck.
It's something that I feel like in the new modern, want to make sure everyone's comfortable kind of way. We're missing out on a lot of funny male nudity because male
Agree.
nudity was always funny. It wasn't sexual. It was funny.
Yeah.
There's definitely a time in high school where I may have done a
Not the trench coat.
did a Yokozuna, the first guy that falls asleep at the party. You're like and then I pants myself and then jump on him
Nice.
while he's asleep and yell out Yokozuna. So he wakes up a millisecond before the ass hits him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ass.
Yeah, definitely done that.
And if you're
Not proud of it.
if you're like if a man's gonna moon to that
Yeah.
extent, you're getting back of balls. You know,
Oh,
like you
yeah.
can see
You're
back.
You're getting some back sack.
back
You're
sack.
absolutely getting a back sack. I think they're opening up for God, what was the other band?
What was
we
the other
named?
band? Oh,
Fuck, someone's typing it in. It's like,
Alternative Love Style.
yeah.
Backsack is opening for
for alternative love style.
Yeah.
Good memory.
I got us on the list, so we're gonna go later.
Smoke more weed. Let's go. It doesn't affect your memory, but yeah, because male nudity was always funny to me. Like female nudity was always attractive, and male nudity was always funny.
Yeah.
So, and we've gotten away from that, and if that's the case, okay, I'm not gonna push back. I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable, but I miss a good the old. What was it? Like the trick where your friend just goes, "Hey, Brad," and you turn, he's got like his balls like
Just
in his
one
hand,
ball.
just one ball. That it's funny.
What is
me.
it with balls, man? What
'Cause
is
they're
it?
Gross.
What is it like to just have that hanging out? All of ours is like tucked
Yeah.
inside.
Don't get me wrong.
Not all of it.
There's
Varying degrees.
there's always a conscious realization of where are they, what are they doing, and what position are they in.
Which pant leg?
When I sit down, how do I have to? Because I've done the whole sit on your balls thing. Oh, good God.
Hurts.
Most painful thing you're ever. Oh, it's just.
You can
like,
just accidentally sit on them?
Yeah, you could sit on them, and when that happens, I'm sorry. Clear my schedule. I'm on the floor the rest of the day. I'm
Really?
just like I'll get up eventually, but yeah, I don't want to. I just want to be on the floor the rest of the day.
So they get shoved all the way back under your ass and then
Depending
Get
on how
crushed.
you sit or how your pants are, like they're not. Like, yeah, obviously if you're doing like a Buffalo Bill and you're doing like a tuck, then yes, they're back there. But sometimes just like casually, they can kind of flow back there, and it's not fun.
They have a mind of their own. Like
Really
picture
do.
like a fully relaxed ball sack, and then you like twist the skin and it all raisins up. Like
yeah.
it's so crazy to
Have
play
you
with.
ever watched them like breathe?
Yeah.
That's creepy as fuck.
It's like a
when
little.
I realized
It's like
my balls breathe, I was like, wait, what? They do that? I just stare at my balls, and eventually, they'll just go like,
yeah.
and I'm just like, what? Hey, you're alive? What is this weird horror movie character that is now existing between my legs? That is bad.
do your balls have names?
No, I haven't named him yet.
Yeah.
Zach and Cody.
Zach and Cody?
No.
I'll take it. All right. Zach seems like the right one. Yeah. Zach and Cody.
Zach's righty.
Now I know Zach and Miri made a porno. Is there a Zach and Cody?
The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. Yeah, it was a Disney.
She's
show.
making
Oh,
she's making a
no.
deep Disney
Oh,
joke.
no, I can't make them after Disney stars.
They're adults now. I used to have this ex who would tuck his soft shaft into his ball sack, so it would like pull his ball sack over the shaft.
Yeah,
and then he would,
I've seen that.
Okay, he would put
Oh,
on this
man.
song that would be like, "Da-da-da-da-da," and he would like shake it around, and he would wait for the drop, and the drop was like,
Guys, are so funny.
"These nuts," and then he
Yeah.
would just let it all.
That-
Yeah, I've seen that.
Sorry, funny.
They all tuck it in
Legit
and then
funny.
they let it go, and it's like,
Legit funny.
yeah.
I like. I remember in junior high when guys we discovered about lighting farts on fire. That'll never not be
I've
funny to
never
me.
seen that before.
My brother and I would try to
real.
do that.
It's real.
It's
gotta wear-
real.
You gotta
You
wear
did
tight
it?
pants. Yeah, but you can do it.
You can do it through pants.
Yeah. I've seen it through pants. I mean, we had to like turn off all the lights and then like hold the lighter on. But
Was it not just the air? Like,
yeah, but no, because the lighter would just kind of be going, and then you'd hear the fart, and it would just like just not like flamethrower, like like that wasn't happening, but you would just see a little. And
Whoa.
funny every time. If I saw that now, I would just hurt laughing. So like,
Man, I
it's
wish
just
I
so
could do
good.
that. I would make some money. There's a lot of like requests for farting videos.
Really?
For sure.
dude, we
Why
gotta
am I
tell Brad about
surprised?
Chad.
Chad.
Brad about
Speaking
Chad.
of farts and-
Chad sounds like
Okay,
a weird
so
code
have
name.
you ever shit your pants at the Comedy Store?
Ooh, at the Comedy Store? No.
What about like in the vicinity, right outside?
No.
Do you know
No.
anyone who has?
No.
I do.
Oh. That was a setup.
Sydney
Lob.
shit.
You were
Her-
there, actually.
I was there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Me
I,
and
like,
you were
ran past
talking,
you.
and
Yeah.
one of the security guards,
Who has no soul.
who is insane.
He's empty.
He was like giving you a joint, or you were giving him a joint or something. You
Yeah,
guys
we
were
were
smoking, and she was wearing a skirt, and I could just tell in her body language that something was up. And
I
I
was
walk
like-
over to her. I'm like, "Hey, you good?" She's like, I bring this girl to the bathroom, take the panties off in the trash.
Mind
you
you,
know?
I'm wearing a
Sure.
Dolce & Gabbana miniskirt and a thong.
Yeah, the thong went in the trash, and then I
Sure.
spread the cheeks,
Oh, no.
cleaned her up.
Oh,
I know.
Like a baby bird.
Like a baby bird.
look at
You
mom.
fully shit yourself though.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not fully, not
Not
an entire like log or something.
Now,
but
was it like I have a fart, but then it had
Yeah, it was a shard,
no.
right?
then it had
Oh.
a guest, like an unwanted guest?
unfortunately, no. I
How did it happen?
literally ate poutine for the first time in my life the night before, and then I was talking to
then you
soulless Chad,
Poutined
and
your pants.
I poutined. I poutined all over my Dolce & Gabbana miniskirt. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
no.
happened. It's happened twice this year where I'm talking to a man who then later it turns out to be an absolute fucking LA like demon.
Nightmare.
And
Yeah.
I've shit on or near two men.
That might
last year.
be like your body saying no.
Rejecting.
for
That might be
sure.
the body being like, no, this guy is
Alert.
This guy is trouble.
I'm like a
and
skunk.
We're gonna we're gonna make sure you don't get laid tonight. How? This way.
Spray him.
Bam. Because I don't know the percentage of guys that would see that or know about that happening and be like, I'm still down. Like,
A
lot.
good amount.
A
Oh,
lot.
really?
A
For
lot.
sure.
We have a
Forget.
lot of ass to mouth fans on this podcast.
Yeah. Also, people have sex to this podcast, Brad. So
Really?
Yeah.
someone, you know,
like with each other, with themselves,
All
what-
sorts of ways.
all sorts of ways.
Really?
Yeah.
Amazing. So someone right now
Yeah.
is having sex
They're-
to the sound of a dwarf and two adult actresses talking.
Yes.
Well, let's make it fun for them then.
Okay.
All right, hold on. So now I'm going to change my voice under the voice of that you think I'm going to talk like.
Oh.
I don't assume this is how dwarfs talk, because we're tandem, and it's have to really represent. Okay. So now, you guys are going to come to a munchkin voice.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's right, baby.
You guys are
Okay.
gonna come
Yeah, I'm almost there.
all over this
Okay.
munchkin.
Oh my God, where do you want me to finish?
On my face.
All right, I'll finish on your face. I'm pretty sure if a dwarf comes on your face, you get 3 wishes. This is gonna be great. Finishing strokes.
Zach and Cody are empty.
Zach and Cody. Oh, done. Oh, hold on. It's sensitive. It's very sensitive. Don't touch.
No more touching.
Don't touch.
It's getting a little Asian.
Yeah.
God, my
Wait.
wife is mad at me.
Brad, guess where I was last night?
Where you must have been at Jumbo's.
Yeah.
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 I almost don't want to talk about it on the podcast because I don't want people to go. I want it to be this place.
Can we
this
talk about what happened
sanctuary.
after Jumbo's?
Sure.
Okay.
What happened after Jumbo's last night for you?
Oh, I was talking about when we went.
Oh, what did happen after Jumbo's? What happened? I was drinking. What happened?
Well, let's just say that I feel like, because I know your wife wanted to see/touch/motorboat my tits,
Yeah.
right?
Who doesn't?
And I feel like she got to
Yeah.
through you.
Sure.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It was glorious.
It was yeah.
So wonderful.
It was great. I mean,
She's
you
very proud of
can't
me.
not motorboat after going to Jumbo's. It's a
mean,
rule.
You're in a mood.
Mm-hmm.
One of the one of the dancers that night actually hit me up.
She was a fan of
afterward.
yours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a fan, and now she wants to make a TikTok video with me, where something involving pizza, something involving her and pizza. She's eating a pizza. She throws the pizza at me, and then when the camera switches, it becomes a bagel bite, or something. Or I throw a giant pizza at her, and then she catches it as a bagel bite.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, something like that. So,
That's creative.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah, she's great.
Is it the Harley Quinn looking
Yeah.
one?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
She was
yeah.
there last night.
Ah,
She's great.
yeah, she's. I'm so glad you went. Did you go with anybody?
Yeah, we all went to this like rave, I
Ish.
guess, and then Sid was on mushrooms, so she was, yawning and had to go home. And we had to go to Jumbo's and expel.
At the club, there were these like beams of like red lights that like looked like stripper poles, but they were just lights. And we were like all being stupid with the lights. And our friend James was there, and he came up like, this light is like highlighting you because the club is dark.
Yeah.
James like got in the light and was like,
Like he was like fully glucking that light beam.
Hell
It
yeah.
looked amazing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Then you're on mushrooms. You're like, is it real? Is it fake?
Right. What's happening?
How does that work? Jumbo's is like, I've heard people talk about like, oh man, strip clubs suck. Guys have said that, women have said that.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Jumbo's.
Gotta go to Jumbo's.
It's just but if you're like, but they're just in bikinis. They're not even nude. They don't have
It doesn't
to be.
matter.
The dancers there are so good at what they
Elite.
do.
So good.
They're having
Elite.
fun.
Yeah.
One thing that I've noticed about Jumbo's is all the dancers there. I don't know if this is in the notes in terms of like you have to do this to be a dancer there, but they're always smiling. They're always like having a good time. They're always like trying to get the crowd into it. Nothing is there are a few things worse than going to a strip club and then seeing the dancer on stage and you see all the pain that got her to the strip club, like in her eyes. You're just like, oh god,
Yeah.
I feel bad. I feel horrible right
I think
now.
that definitely happens, but I feel like, I mean, I've been in that situation before where I'm like, ooh, fuck, like, I don't know if she's okay. But also, like, she could just be hungry or bored or not making enough money.
Yeah, absolutely.
One
One of the best dancers I ever saw wasn't even at Jumbo's. It was at a place. I think it's in Florida because of course it's in Florida. I think it's called the Pussy Trap.
Ooh.
Booby Trap. It's called the Booby Trap, and she brought one of those Guitar Hero guitars on stage, and was just like air guitaring to like Rodney James Dio, and I'm just
Wow.
like, this is on. Like she's walking on stage like holy diva, and she's like, she's like full windmill guitar. And
I
I'm just like,
love that.
take all my money, take it. You're having a blast. This is great.
I love that.
I love
Yeah.
the dubstep strippers who just like turn into spider monkeys and they're like climbing on the ceiling. I'm like, this is my favorite stripper band.
Yeah.
They're crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they do like the fall right when the beat
Oh,
drops.
yeah.
It's so much
Oh, I
fun.
love
The
that.
face first
Yeah.
fall.
I really want to work at Jumbo's, honestly, like once a month. I feel like that would be so good for me.
Let's
Now,
do it.
Let's do it.
Do you dance on the road? Do you go out and you go to strip clubs?
I would love to. I just broke my like 3-year performance in person
Okay.
thing in New Orleans where I squirted on stage.
You
Did
showed
you
me
see
the
that?
video.
Yeah.
You showed
you
me the
see that?
video, and
Did you catch that?
Let me run
I
it back
did.
in slow mo.
You showed me the video,
Yeah.
and that's one of those things. So back when I had a podcast, it's called the About Last Night podcast. Steve-O was a guest on the podcast. Great guest,
Hot.
nice guy, and he's showing me this video of how he's doing his bucket list, and he wanted to come while skydiving.
Oh.
So he shows me this video of him like in the plane,
Wow.
watching a porn in the plane, jerking off in the plane, And he's like, yeah, dude. And he's when I was about to jump out, and I'm like, gonna go, but like I can't get hard. So I'm like, more lube. And then he's like trying to, and he's like breaking this down like scientifically, and I'm watching the video, and I'm like nodding my head like, yeah, no, I can see you really trying to, and then I stop and go, I'm watching a video of my friend jerk off.
Yeah.
Like,
And you're like, I didn't even realize I'm jerking off.
Yeah,
and I'm jerking us both off.
Why am I doing? Okay, yeah, dude.
That's a really good Steve-O.
I didn't know I could do a Steve-O.
It just came out.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, but and then he jumped out of the plane and he came like it was perfect.
Wow.
And I never thought I would watch a friend of mine come and be
Until
like
it happens.
and be like, fuck yeah, man. Good for you.
Yeah.
Like I was proud of him.
That's just an amazing feat.
It really is.
It's an amazing feat.
I'm just a fan of people accomplishing their goals.
Right.
And that was his dream, and he did it. And so I felt similarly watching the video of you squirt on stage in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I'm watching my friend squirt on stage.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
And it's like from an angle, it's not like you could see,
Yeah.
you could just see the explosion.
Rivers.
Yeah, the rivers.
The remnants.
The remnants.
You could see that. And
Are you a squirter?
I am not.
You're more of a splooger?
I am the volcano. It just kind of
okay.
like
It comes down the sides.
Just slowly.
Nice.
I'm not like it's so anticlimactic because if ever I'm in that situation with my wife where it's like, yeah, you ready? Here I am. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna. Like it's just like it's not like Peter North like it's not that at all. It's just okay. I'll make an appearance. Like if my
You gave her a fucking baby, babe. You're
I did.
virile, okay?
I got swimmers. They can go. They don't start strong. They finish strong.
She's already getting to fuck her fantasy. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to explode on
You
her.
had to have
No.
one Phelps in there because it stuck. So.
He was at my show a few weeks ago. Michael
Really?
Phelps. I did a
Wow.
corporate gig.
Did you take a picture next to him?
Yeah.
Isn't he wicked tall?
He's insane.
Wow.
He's insanely tall. And he's
Wow.
the nicest guy in the world.
I
He was great, and this was at a party at a country club where I'm pretty sure that's where the Illuminati hangs out because that's what it felt like.
Okay.
And
He's in it.
Yeah,
Obviously.
yeah, he's obviously in it. And what was crazy is there was this is one of the more insane stories that I have on the road that doesn't involve sex, but it does involve guys getting naked. Let me explain. So.
Nice.
A guy comes up to him. This is after the show. He's very drunk, and he looks at Michael Phelps and he goes, "I bet you $1,000 I could beat you in that pool." And Phelps is like, "All right." He's like, "Put up or shut up, dude." And Phelps starts taking off clothes. Like, okay, let's go.
You guys were just by a pool already.
Yeah, there was a pool there because it's where the Illuminati hangs out.
Oh, the country club. Got it.
There's pools.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Anyway.
One has money in it, one has
Yeah.
water.
Was it
in
in it? Was it an infinity pool?
Yeah, one's like a Scrooge McDuck pool where they just jump in and it's gold coins. Yeah, that's how it goes. And so like the guy's like, all right. So he starts taking out the clothes.
And they got ass naked.
They're not naked, unfortunately, because I wanted to know. You know, it's Phelps.
Yeah. What has he got
You got
going
a
on?
dolphin dick. It just
Yeah,
crawls
does
along
he
the
got like a
bottom.
third leg that helps with the kicking? Like, what's happening here? And so they go, ready, set, go, whatever. The dude, the other guy jumps in. He's like going all out. He's just swimming as hard as he can. Phelps just calmly jumps in. Doesn't even use his arms. Doesn't come up from the water. Under the water, he's just like wailing
Gliding.
and gliding, and he goes all the way. Like he beat this guy by so
That's
much,
sick.
and
sexy.
it was so great. And the guy goes, "All right," and then he pays him the $1,000, and then Phelps turns and gives it to the staff and says, "There you go."
Daddy.
Oh my God, I
Yeah.
am bricked up about
Yeah.
that.
Literally, do you remember when he got all that? There was like that scandal
He was like
about
smoking a
him
bong.
ripping the bong.
Yeah.
Because he's got insane lungs.
Because he's cool as
Yeah,
fuck.
'cause he's cool as fuck.
Swimmers have that body where like their whole body looks like one big flipper.
Yeah.
Like they're just like
that's him.
huge and like thin but so strong.
Yeah.
Dude, he
Just-
has like a genetic thing that like makes him like that. I knew this guy who I used to work with who had the same thing, really long arms. He was like a rock climber, and they had like the same like kind of weird face shape.
A little Neanderthal.
Exactly.
Yeah, but Phelps, he did that.
Wow.
Great guy. His wife was there, and his wife was just kind of like shaking her head, like he does this.
Yep.
But yeah, and I think, but then we talked afterward. He's just a dad now. He's a motivational speaker.
Fuck yeah.
He goes around, and yeah, he's just a good dude, and his wife was nice as hell. Like just a great guy.
Yeah.
And it was just awesome to see. But it was also kind of like, this gives you an idea of how men are, because there was a guy at a party, saw not only a great swimmer, saw the greatest swimmer of all time, and looked at him and was drunk enough to be like, yeah, I could take him.
Wow.
Like, that's the male ego.
Or he has like a humiliation kink.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Maybe, because there was a group of people all just being like, you suck, and I was like, oh, I'm hard now. Like, yeah,
He jerked off about it later.
Tell me how much I.
Literally.
He drains me of my money.
Yeah.
He's not aerodynamic no more.
Like, yeah, that's one of those things where this job is very crazy. You get to do some crazy things. You get to meet some heroes. You get to meet some non-heroes. You get to meet some people that you thought were heroes until you meet them, and you're like, oh man. But Phelps is not that guy. Phelps is a fantastic dude.
Fantastic
He's
dude.
He's a great American hero.
I
It's
have
wonderful.
a question for you about
Yeah.
Netflix specials versus like live performance.
Okay.
Because I like Nikki Glazer, for example. I love her and I love her
Love her.
Netflix specials, but seeing her in person is a different fucking world because the Netflix specials are online forever, honey. Like you got to really like keep your shit buttoned up. And then
Yep.
she's on stage talking about how much she loves pedophiles, and I'm like, whoa, this girl's
Yeah.
got something to say,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh,
Do you feel like you do
Yeah.
the same thing? Like you keep it
Yes.
more buttoned up on Netflix?
Well,
and-
because when you're doing a special, and I've got 2 on Amazon Prime, 1 on Netflix, so you can watch that. All right,
Fuck
good.
yeah.
Plugs. Anyway, when you're doing a special, that's material that you've worked on for years. You've honed. The joke is perfect. You've gone over the set with the director. You know the certain shots that you want for the jokes, because sometimes a camera angle can enhance a punchline. You want to make sure you get coverage. You want to get facial expressions. All this is going through your head. And so the jokes are the jokes. You really don't go off too much. But live shows, I go on with a basic roadmap, but sometimes it's like, hey, you're driving down the road and then you say, oh, the world's largest ball of twine? Fuck yeah, let's go see that. You know, you get kind of ADD driving. You're like, oh, yeah, fucking world's biggest cashew. Let's go. And so you go off. So live shows, and I get this a lot where people come up to me after my shows, because I do meet and greets after the shows, and they come up and they're like, dude, like I saw you on Amazon and that was great. I saw you on Netflix, that was great, but live is better. I'm like, yes, yes, live is better. Don't be the person that's like, I watch comedy but like just on Netflix. No. Go. And you will have wonderful magical moments that can only happen that one time at that one live show in that one circumstance. And Nikki, that's a great example. God bless her, because she's gonna talk about things. She's gonna go places that maybe Netflix would tell her, okay, you're edgy, but not.
Turn down the
Can we just
pedophilia.
kinda, we don't want you to be a fan of pedophiles per se. It's not exactly the Netflix stance, despite the fact we have a couple of Kevin Spacey movies up, but that's not what we like. So we're gonna say no to the pedophile. So like, but there's just something about when it's and that's why comedians oftentimes, one of our pet peeves right now is looking out in the audience and seeing someone, you know, I'm not gonna look on your phone, but just like holding up the phone and just watching that and then filming. We hate that because A, you're not enjoying the show. You're looking at your phone. B, if you show this, something could happen that is like in the moment, in context, hilarious, wonderful, but someone that's just casually looking at that one sentence that you just said would be offended by it or angered by it. And obviously you wouldn't, like when you read the transcript back in court, well, he said we should go kill all the women and they belong in the kitchen. You're like, yeah, there was a setup before that explained why that line was good
Why it
and
worked
funny.
at the time.
Yes, and so like, so that's the thing where it's like, no, you have to go to a live show. You have to experience it live. You have to experience it in the moment. And there's something magical when a group of people come together and they all kind of look around and go, this is just us. This is just us right here, right
Yes.
now. It's not getting out. No one else knows. No one else understands. So yeah, don't take out your phone during a live comedy show. Just go to your friends and say that you saw the comedian and that they were funny, because this has happened to me a bunch of times where I'll see someone or out and about, and then they'll try to explain to someone my joke in front of me. Like, no, he did this thing. It was so good. Let me tell you.
Cringy.
Let me tell you what he said. I'm like,
That's not butchering.
You're gonna fuck it up. You're gonna fuck it up. And then they fuck it up. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm good at this. I know the joke better than you. Let me tell it. So just go and tell your friends that you were there, that you're funny. We'll take a photo afterward. You can prove that you were there. Then we'll have the photo. You might be able, if you want to do a funny prom pose or Charlie's Angels, fuck yeah, okay, cool, I'm down for it. Fine. But don't get the joke. The joke is in the moment. The joke is for the audience there that night. And anything else, just tell your friends they had to be there.
Have you ever had people come up to you and ask you to like sign their tits just because you're
Yep.
like perfect height for it?
Yep, I've signed tits, I've signed nuts, I've signed asses. My favorite, I've done this a few times, I've signed some prosthetic legs.
Yeah.
Those are fun. Mostly, yeah, when I signed the guy's nuts, that only happened one time, but kind of like the tattoo, he had to like stretch it out. Give me a canvas to work with. And because I was almost like so in the moment, I almost like reached out with my hand and be like, hold on, let me
let me get it right.
I almost did that. I'm like, whoa, that's a guy's scrotum. But so then he stretched it out and I just kind of signed it.
And then he let it go and it just disappeared.
Yeah, and then my
And then it
Mine
raisined
forever.
up.
my signature was gone. It went from Brad Williams to just
Bread.
DMs. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, no, I've gotten some interesting requests like that, and they're fun. I like stories like that. I like doing it, because I understand I have a weird job. I understand I have a weird job. I'm fine with that. I want to experience the weirdness. I don't want to have if I want a normal job that just did normal things, I would go get a normal job.
Yeah.
I don't have that, so I want the crazy.
Yeah.
I embrace it. I want to have. I don't want to be on my deathbed and be like, I never signed the scrotum. Like no, I want to be like, yeah, I did the shit. Like whatever needed to happen for the audience to have a good time or for someone to have their story or their moment, I want that to happen.
Living for the meme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
It is true.
It's more fun.
It is. It's way more fun. It's way, like all. Back when I was single, my goal every night was to either get laid or have a story. Now, because I get laid with my wife, so I'm not going out to get laid after the show. My goal is to have a story. Let's have a story. Let's have a cool moment, whatever that moment is. Fine, I'm game.
Yeah. Would you rather your daughter grow up to be a scientist like mom, or a stand-up comedian like papa?
Or a porn star like auntie.
So I'll tell you a joke that I had to stop telling because A, my wife didn't like it. B, it never got.
Cephalopod.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I almost stopped talking when you said that.
Sorry.
It never got the reaction I wanted. It's funny to me, but it didn't come across. It came across weird. So I'll tell you the joke.
Okay.
So, my daughter, my wife's Chinese. I'm a dwarf. My daughter is an Asian dwarf baby. She's part Chinese. She's, well, I mean, you're not really part dwarf, but she's all dwarf. But she's an Asian and a dwarf. I go, if I am the best father ever, she will change the world. She will advance society. She will make the world around her better. She will help people. She will raise up humanity. If I am the worst father ever, the biggest porn star in the world.
Honestly.
Because like Asian dwarf, come on. So like, see, thank you for laughing.
Yeah.
I would say
fine.
that.
Your wife didn't like that one. Yeah.
No, did not like that one. And then the audiences didn't like it, so I stopped telling it because
They're like, that's your daughter.
Yeah. Like they would get mad at me that way, and I'm like, No, I'm saying if I'm a bad father, I'm not going to be a bad father. I'm saying, but if I So, to answer your question, I wouldn't, whatever my daughter does, I want it to be just something that she wants to do. If she wants to be a stand-up comedian, okay, I will tell her I'll tell her the roadblocks. I'll tell her the ways that you could get in trouble. Here's how to succeed. Here's how to deal with seedy club owners. Here's how to deal with fans. Everything like that. Like, I'll be the guide. No problem. As long as you want to do it, let's fucking go. Let's get into it. If she wants to be a behavioral therapist like my wife, amazing. Do that. If she wants to be a martial artist like my wife, great. If she wants to do her own thing, whatever that is, whatever. Just. It's great. Just as long as she's into it, she loves it. It brings her joy, and if that's what she wants to do, then that's her life. It's not mine.
Yeah.
So totally fine.
Well, I asked because I know that, like, growing up, and if people were mean, your dad would, like, fuel you with jokes to go to school to, like, be ready and have some in the chamber. And
Look at
like,
you doing research.
you know,
like that.
yeah,
Well done.
Nardwar, yeah, Nardwar.
Yeah.
And so if she grows up a little bit and people are being mean and you're kind of doing the same thing, she might end up on stage,
Yeah,
maybe.
She might. And I pity the person. If there's ever a kid that makes fun of my daughter, you're gonna have me writing comebacks for her, and they're not.
I'm her writer.
Yeah, and they're not gonna be like, you're ugly. It's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt.
It's gonna be like. It's going to be stuff like, now are you reaching out and you're making fun of me because you need attention because your mom doesn't love you and doesn't give you attention? It's going to be stuff like that. It's going to be like harsh shit. Like, okay, tell me what they wear.
Do some research.
Tell me what they're into. What kind of backpack do they have? Oh, they have Thomas the Train. I got some shit. Like, it's going to be that. Like, oh, you got a Peppa Pig shit? Okay, I got it. Yeah. It's definitely going to be that. And then on top of that, my wife is a martial artist, so she's going to know some shit there. Oh, I so pity.
She's locked and loaded, ready to go.
Yeah. So, I sadly, in a weird, sick, fucked up way, I'm almost looking forward to someone because I'm like, oh, we're gonna make a kid cry. This is gonna be great.
Bonding.
Yeah, and it'll be justified. Like, it's not like. It's not gonna be like, oh, let's make a kid cry for no reason. It's like, oh, the kid pushed you down, the kid hurt you,
The
kid
kid
made fun of
pushed
you.
down an Asian dwarf.
Yeah,
child.
That's 7 years bad luck.
Yeah.
But yeah, then that's gonna be fun for me, and like you say, it might be a weird bonding experience.
Yeah.
Where when she's older, she'll be like, I remember when my dad and I used to write jokes.
Bully people together.
Yeah.
That'll make other kids cry. It was so much fun.
I was talking about you the other day, and I called you a dwarf. And
That's fine.
Whoever I was talking to was like,
Yeah, people always clock us and they're like,
like, is that what you want to say? And I was like, I think that's what Brad calls himself. And this guy, whoever I was talking to was like, what if he wanted you to call him the M word? And I was like,
the M word.
The M word.
I was like, Brad's not black. Why would I call him that?
Yeah.
And they were like, what?
You heard it differently.
Yeah.
That's why it's one of the reasons why I don't like when people say the M word, because it sounds so close to the N word, and it's just like I don't want it, and they're not the same things, they're not in the same category. So I'll give you guys the speech. Me, I don't care, but I know I'm an anomaly. For me, it's all about intent. What was your intent? I'll tell you this story. So I was in Odessa, Texas, and a guy heckled, and then I came back and I got him kicked out of the club.
Texas.
And whatever. So end of the show, I'm going to the opening act's car, and we see pickup truck lights turn on, and this guy starts driving towards us, and a guy leans out the window and yells out, "Kill the dwarf!" like that. Now in that moment, I did not stop and go, "Hey, thanks for using the right term. Thanks for saying thanks for saying dwarf. I really appreciate it."
If anything,
that.
it taints the right term.
Yeah, it wasn't the dwarf that I was worried about. It was the kill the.
Right.
The kill the.
Yeah.
I had more concern. So me and the comic thankfully got into his car, drove off, and then he knows some moves and he lost them. So it was great.
Nice.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so in terms of terms, I don't care. Most dwarves prefer little person.
LP, baby.
LP. Well done.
Thank you.
But like we have dwarfism. I have achondroplastic dwarfism, so I don't understand how dwarf is the bad word. People are like, but it's like Snow White. I'm like, yeah, well, we had it first. Then they took it.
Right.
Fuck that. I'm taking the power back. We're dwarves. Damn it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a group where little people can play sports against each other. It's called the Dwarf Athletic Association of America, DAAA. Like, yeah,
Cool.
we're the dwarves. We're dwarves. It's not offensive. It's what we are. Like, do you are you offended by redhead?
No.
Like,
Ginger.
no.
Are you offended by
it's just like
ginger?
redhead. It's what you are. Blonde. It's what you are. And unless it's coloring.
Description.
In
you
which
know?
case, well done. But yeah, I don't get the people, and it's always interesting to me that, like, you know me, we're friends. You said the word dwarf, and then someone who doesn't know me,
Right.
Literally.
who doesn't know our relationship, just corrects you. What?
No.
I think
No.
it's like whatever you call yourself is probably what you want other people
Yeah.
to call you.
Yeah.
Actually, the strip club I used to work at in Maine, every Wednesday,
Strip clubs in Maine. That's an SNL sketch.
there's only 2 of them, honey,
Really?
in the big old state.
What are the names? I gotta know the names.
It used to be called PTs, but then Rick's Cabaret bought it out, and then
Okay.
there was one in a tiny town that didn't have a name.
Yeah,
But
secret knock.
yeah,
The code word.
but like once a month on some Wednesday they had dwarf wrestling, but they didn't call it dwarf
Sure,
wrestling.
They called it midget wrestling.
They called it midget wrestling, and like the people involved, like that's what they were calling it. And like I just wouldn't work that day. Sometimes I'd come by accident and be like, okay, sick, this is cool. Like I love it and think it's awesome.
Yeah.
But also, like, I don't know, people were really like didn't know how
Yeah.
to deal with it. But the
I'm
people
so-
involved named it that.
Exactly. Now this, I'll be honest, I'm so torn about stuff like this because at the same time, I get it. There are little people doing it. Obviously, I don't want little people wrestling tall guys. That's unfair.
Right.
You know, so they need their
You
own.
got to be in the same weight class.
Yeah, at least. And it's like they're choosing to do that. You know, it's their choice to be the wrestler. It's their choice to do midget wrestling or whatever it is, midget stripping, midget UFC, whatever. Like it's their choice, and I don't want to deny someone an opportunity to make a living.
Right.
Like I don't want to tell dwarves they can't dress up as leprechauns on St. Patrick's Day and make money. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do it, but I don't want to tell you not to do it. But at the same time, I get the people that are like, but that degrades us. It's like, but also, here's how I kind of view it, though. You can't say, like, well, strip clubs are okay, but then if it's a dwarf stripper, that's offensive. What? No, that's equal opportunity.
Right.
Like, well then, like, now, if you're just against all strip clubs, I'll actually listen to your argument more than if you say, like, well, only non-handicapped women can strip. Like, oh, so handicapped women aren't sexy? Like a girl. I would tip so much money.
Yeah.
If a woman was on stage with a prosthetic or a wheelchair or like whatever, great. Like so it's like, yeah, it's equal opportunity. They need to be offered a chance to make their own living. I'm not going to do it personally, but if they need to do it and that's how they need to pay their rent, then who the fuck am I to judge? We're allowed to make bad decisions. We're adults.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And sometimes you need money, and that is the world we live in.
And
Sometimes you need money.
And
you
sometimes
play
you
the
don't.
card that you were dealt.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
sometimes you don't need money, and you don't have to do stuff that makes you feel like shit.
Yeah. And trust me, I've been to strip clubs where they go, oh, yeah, little sassy Cassie was here last week, and none of us made money because she made all of it.
Oh,
Like,
sassy Cassie.
yeah.
Damn.
She
Oh.
only needed 1 day a week. Thank God for the other girls.
Yeah.
I've heard those stories where the dwarf strippers come in and just fucking clean.
They just clean
up.
up. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good for them. Well done. But then it makes
Dwarfism is horny. We all know that. Just a dress.
that's the eighth
tiny
dwarf.
elephant
Horny.
in the room.
Yeah, the eighth dwarf is horny.
You never saw him because he was
No.
just beating
Yeah,
up.
he was just beating off in the corner just the whole time. Once Snow White showed up, he's like, I don't have to jerk off to Dopey anymore. This is
Material.
Dude, you
great."
would jerk off to Dopey too.
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Been there.
Been there.
Been there. See, this is why we get along. The inappropriate jokes that now are shared with people who allegedly are having sex during this podcast.
And this is just the beginning of our relationship, honestly.
Someone just came to our inappropriate, handicap strippers jokes.
Yeah.
Yes, good for you.
Good for them.
Good
you know,
for you.
lighten
I'm
up.
happy.
Let's lighten up a little bit in here. You know,
have some fun. But yeah, and I do agree with you. This is the beginning of our friendship. We're gonna be experiencing more, not just. Not just on podcasts when the cameras are rolling. You guys come to the shows. I always love when you guys are at the Comedy Store. We've definitely have some stories.
Yes, we do.
We have some stories.
Definitely have some stories. Some we're allowed to talk about. Some that people come up to us and say, "Do not talk about that."
Yeah.
Like, oh.
I know.
All right.
Sydney, stop talking about shitting your pants. Please.
No, we decided not to talk about that. Story for you, really.
And when she says that, it's not because we did stuff
Brad
or anything
murdered
like
someone.
that. I murdered someone. I killed them. Parts are scattered all over Hollywood.
We helped hide the body.
Store.
We had an experience with a celebrity that once that particular celebrity found out what you guys did for a living. They unfortunately said, "I don't want photos of me with you," and I don't like that.
So strange.
Well, it's just like, imagine him saying that to like a gay person, being like, "Oh, you're gay? Actually, I'm gonna need you to delete those photos because it would be insane."
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that.
It's also like you're at the Comedy Store. It's filled with degenerates and and porn stars.
Most
of the sets are about porn.
There's a table in the back where Richard Pryor did cocaine.
Yeah.
I've heard since that said celebrity is on some Christian psychosis energy.
Oh.
I think that's where it comes from.
That's where it comes from.
That's where it comes from.
Now it's making more sense.
Yes.
Now it's all coming together. Okay.
You see it now.
I see it
You
now.
felt that, but you didn't know what it was. That's
Yeah.
all.
And now we all know.
I've taken pictures with people. I've taken pictures with adult stars.
You've signed nuts, bro.
I've signed nuts. I've taken pictures with people on the far right. I've taken pictures of people on the far left. That's one of the things I love about comedy is that you can be in the room with people that you disagree with, people in different lifestyles, people that do things that you don't necessarily like or would do, but you're all in the same room at the same time and you're all having the same experience together. I love that about comedy.
Yeah.
And so I don't care that you guys are adult stars. I think it's fun. We have the best stories.
Yeah, we really do.
So,
and we get along, as we've said.
Yeah, so the mics will turn off and then we'll just keep telling stories and, and we'll keep laughing and we'll keep having fun, and I'm really glad that I know you guys and that I'm friends with you.
Oh,
Same,
us too.
Brad.
We love you, Brad. Yay!
Now let's shut off the mics and just start running straight into boobs.
Okay.
Let's
all right.
have fun.
We assume the position. You can just go back and forth.
Like a ping pong ball.
Exactly.
Service.
Yeah, we'll
All
spin you
right.
around and share you.
Yay!
Brad Williams, what a treat. Oh,
Brad
my God.
Williams, we love you. Thank you so much
Thank
for coming
you.
on the podcast.
BradWilliamsComedy.com. Come to the shows. Tell me that you heard me on this podcast. Show me the photos of you having sex during the podcast.
Yes, please.
Or at least the audio. I'd love the audio.
What is
That'd be
that?
great.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll hear it. But thanks to your listeners, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank
love
you for
you.
being
Thank
here. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.